Hey, Vineyard, happy Wednesday. I hope your week is rolling along well. Honestly, I'm pretty vanilla about the weather today. I don't really know how I feel, so I'm just going to jump right into what we've got going on. First, Sandwich Sunday was so awesome. That was the most amazing. I can't even tell you. I loved it. I love how we had to keep bringing out the tables and the chairs, how the food just kept on like being enough and it took like completely gone by the end of the meal. What an awesome time together. It was a really great day. I can't wait for next month. We're going to have the places set and be ready for another awesome meal together. And speaking of awesome meals, there's another one this coming Sunday, the monthly potluck for our OG ministry. All folks that are west of 60 years old invited to join the OG ministry for lunch downstairs after our service together. Also coming in February is Ash Wednesday. We begin marking the season on Wednesday, February 22nd at 5:51 p.m. at sundown. We're going to worship together, we're going to receive ashes, and we're going to begin the Lent season together as we look to that day of celebration, Resurrection Day, Easter, that's coming on April 9th. We'll have our normal full load of Holy Week services, and we'll get that schedule out here in the coming weeks. We're nearing a transition point in our Sunday series using the Gospel of John to demonstrate the glory of God. And we're defining glory as the weighty felt presence, also the self-expression of God, and the feltness of God. And that very definition, the way that we are choosing to define glory, is driving us to a transition point. That transition point is the entry into liminal space motivated by the love of God. Now, last Sunday, Brad used John 6 to illustrate that encountering God's glory leads us to a place of decision and action. So, we've been seeing this throughout the series, that Jesus meets us when we seek him, that he sees beyond our masks of brokenness and insecurity. He offers us healing, and he serves as the path to be in right relationship with the Father, but also right relationship with each other. What the disciples found out in John 6 was that when Jesus heals, though, he heals not in a way that makes us more comfortable, but in a way that prepares us for all of that right relationship. Now, in essence, what we see is that our healing is not only meant for us. Jesus becomes real to us, but then Jesus becomes real through us. All of this brings tension, and more than tension, we're brought to the most difficult hurdle, especially difficult in the secular world, the place where we are presented with the reality that life really means death to self. This reality is presented to us through some tough questions that Jesus asks. A few weeks ago, we dealt with one of those questions. That question was, do you want to be healed? Are you ready to give up the life that you know in your broken state? Are you ready to give up the right to be right? Are you ready to give up the identity of broken and step into wholeness? And then in John 6, we see another tough question when Jesus turns to the 12 men that he's training and he asks, after seeing all of this tension, the question that he asks is, are you also going to leave? These questions reveal not just the transition point that we've arrived at, but also the difficulty of moving beyond this point. The transition point is basically that the gospel, the good news found to be true, is not meant for informational purposes. It's designed for application, and that application gets messy. Being in this liminal space, knowing that we will not be the same as we were when we started, knowing that we're being changed, that we will continue to be changed, but also not yet being able to see what the end looks like. It's a tension that leads many people to bail on the process and move back to the shallow end of the pool. The lie of the enemy that beckons us back to the shallow end of the pool is that the goal of life is personal salvation, and that it can be achieved in like a one-on-one kind of deal of doing, saying, or thinking the right things, but never really having to leave our comfort zone. The truth of the gospel is that the plan of God is complete reconciliation and restoration, a complete work that reconnects creation to the Creator as well as us to each other. And all of that gets messy. This is our starting point on Sunday as we get into the middle portion of the Gospel of John. It is time to get messy together. So Vineyard, I'm praying for you. Please pray for me, and I will see you on Sunday.